Oh man, you know what I love, guys? A silly movie. Unfortunately, this one is not it. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I am going to be talking about Independence Day Resurgence, the second Independence Day movie after 20 years that is directed by, you guessed it, Roland Emmerich, who's directed a lot of disaster films. And when I say disaster films, I don't just mean like buildings going up into the sky and explosions and fire and brimstone and whatever. Like, I literally mean a disaster film. And this is what this movie is, a disaster. So this movie takes place 20 years after the original Independence Day. The future of the world doesn't look like anything like our world anymore. Now it's like future modern day world, I guess. Right? If the original film took place in 1996, this movie would still take place in 2016. You think, right? But it looks like 2016 in the Independence Day world, universe, whatever you want to call it, does not look like modern day technology, because we got that technology from the aliens that arrived here and we defeated a long time ago. We used their technology to make it our own, and we used their technology against them. And you think that would be useful in this fight against these alien creatures, but no, we need a little bit more help. And how do we get that help? Well, I don't want to spoil that for you, but I'll just tell you now, the payoff ain't so great. I'll do a spoiler review on this, hopefully eventually, and you guys will probably slap your heads quite a bit at what you're about to hear. But this is non-spoiler, so don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything, but this is a movie you gotta see to believe. I am going to say that I don't think the movie is 100% terrible. I mean, like, there's a lot of more movies out there that are terrible. This is not like the top 10 worst movies of all time, but it could be close. It could be close, and I could see a lot of people not really liking this movie. But I could see how some people might enjoy it. There's a little bit of nostalgia there, but a lot of it is really forced and it doesn't really work. I feel like this movie had a okay start, and then as the movie continued, it started getting more silly. Funny, I'm not even kidding. It got more silly as it continued. And this is interesting because the director of this movie recently came out and decided to call all superhero films silly. Anything with a cape he can't take serious. I can't even imagine what he thinks of this creation that he did, because I was going, man, this is some silly shit that's going on here. And I wasn't saying that just because he said that. I was literally thinking, man, he had the nerve to call superhero movies silly? Did he even watch his own movie? Because there's some silly shit going on here that had me slapping my head a couple of times, thinking, I can't believe what I'm hearing. The dialogue in this movie, for starters, is some of the worst dialogue you'll ever hear in your life. I mean, the characters are just so bland that you don't give a crap about most of them. I think the only character I liked was the return of Jeff Goldblum as David. And not because we share the same name, just because he seemed like a cool character. I could follow an entire movie with him because I think he was probably the only good redeeming part. And it's funny because I loved Bill Pullman in the original Independence Day, but I felt his character seemed really off here. And I get that his character, something's going on with him in this movie. I don't want to spoil it, but even by the end of it, when it seemed like he was gonna go up there and do stuff, I just felt I didn't feel like the same character, and I felt like Bill Pullman's acting ability was just not in it in this one. I feel like he was off, like he didn't really want to be there. He was just doing it for the paycheck. And you know, a lot of the new characters are really bland. Like I said, I didn't care for any of them by the end. I wanted to care about them, especially the kid who was playing Will Smith's son, but I mean, I don't care. I feel like that when they told us in interviews, Roland Emmerich, when he said he had two scripts ready, one where Will Smith's character could return and the other one where Will Smith's not in it. And I feel like what that meant was the role of Will Smith's his character's son, that could have been changed to Will Smith's role in this movie, and because he didn't return, they changed it to Will Smith's son instead. As I said earlier, the first half of this film starts off okay, and then as you get to the halfway point, I feel like the movie really loses itself towards the end, especially the final battle with the aliens. I feel goes so out of whack, so uneven and badly edited that you're thinking, what the heck's going on in this movie? There was literally one point a character was dying, and I turned to my friend who was beside me, and we just started laughing because the dialogue was so bad during this scene. I didn't know if they were telling a joke or if they were trying to be serious and make it dramatic. It was just that off for me. And the final fight, like I said, felt so rushed. I couldn't believe this was the ending of the movie. I'm like, there's going to be a little bit more, right? There's going to be something bigger and cooler, right? No, we're just going to finish this fight once and for all. And okay, fine. And then there's the talk of setting up the sequel. There a lot of people nowadays, it's okay to set up sequels, but the way this movie did it, I kid you not, they even look directly at the camera to let you know that there is a sequel on the way. And I'm just like, no, this is not going to be happening, guys. I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, this movie's gonna bomb badly because word is gonna get out how bad this movie is. And your sequel is, that little tease at the end. I will say the special effects look cool. I mean, that's something, right, guys? It's cool when everything, if you love explosions. So with that being said, guys, you know what? You knew what this movie was going to be when you heard about it, when you heard Roland Emmerich was going to direct it, the director of 2012, okay? You knew what you were getting yourselves into. This is the piece of shit that you asked for. Roland, you have no authority telling superhero films that they're silly when you make something like this. So with that being said, guys, this movie is a piece of shit. It's up to you if you want to go see it. If you enjoyed it, that's awesome. Because everybody's allowed to have different opinions. And I'm sure there's people like this that like this movie. I mean, the movie got 41% currently on Rotten Tomatoes. So, everybody, there's 41% of critics that are enjoying this movie. And the other 59% thinks it's crap. And that's fine. Everybody's allowed to have a different opinion on this. I apparently am part of the 59% that didn't like it. So that's just me and them too. So if you enjoy it, let me know, guys, because I want to hear why you guys enjoyed it, because it's always interesting to hear someone else's perspective. Maybe you guys can change my mind on this whole ordeal. And if not, well, it's cool. At least we have a little discussion going on about this movie, because I found it pretty hilarious. Either way, hilarious in a bad way. And subscribe to my channel, because I enjoy reviewing movies. And like this video, check out my podcast, because me, my brother, and my cousin who got to see it tonight, we'll be doing a spoiler review. And I'm sure if you guys want to hear my spoilers, we'll be talking about that on my podcast on episode 8, I think we're going to be doing. And check out me on Twitter and Facebook. And all that will be in the link in the description box below. And until next time, guys, take care.